Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy Podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders, I'm Roy, I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Wanderers.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator, boys.
Dog, you've got some exciting news for
We
us
are
today.
kicking off our club previews for 2023.
Oh, where are we starting?
And we always start from the bottom of the ladder.
Oh, jeez.
So, Calvin.
Yes, I know.
You've got North Melbourne.
No, you know what? For the first time ever, Roy, I do not have North Melbourne. The Warn has.
What are you going to do with it?
Not a lot.
Okay.
But we will be up. No, there actually is a fair bit of relevance here.
There's a bit there.
Come on.
I can always find
Especially-
relevance too.
Yeah, and because it's such a fresh start there,
Yep.
like there's hope, I think.
New coach.
Yes.
Hopefully an ability to win.
Yep. Highly doubtful, but yeah.
No, I reckon you could be right here, Dog.
Okay.
I think you may be able to make my ears prick up at least.
So let's have a look at the Roos, the key outs that they've had from, and what we're going to look at with all of these teams over the 18 episodes is look at those key outs and then probably the key ins. It might be the ones that are either in the best 22 or knocking on the door there. So the outs, you're going to say Jason Horne-France is probably the big one because he was the number one draft pick the year before. And you also have Jed Anderson too. He was delisted, but later on picked up by Gold Coast. They're probably the only real big ones there. Pollock, no. Now,
Please.
Josh Walker, no. All right, but they're in. So bringing in, apart from probably the biggest in, which was Alistair Clarkson, the four-time premiership coach, they had a couple of trades, which they saw Darcy Tucker. Might mention him a little bit later.
Okay.
Fremantle. And then, well, Clarko likes a couple of his ex-boys. Shields is in there. So
I love that.
I get him every draft.
Maybe
Boy.
100%.
But there will be some rookies that probably knock on the door. So Harry Sheasel was their highest draft pick, and that's what we've got. So let's look at last year. How good were they?
Not that great. Dog.
No. So they had three players average over 90 points with Jai Simpkin at 96 and Luke Davies-Uniacke at 93. So that's basically the two big dogs. And then Aaron Hall, who was 90.
Okay.
I'm like, hang on.
Below that
So
was
they had
70.
three players. You said over 90.
Yep.
Three players also over 78.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
There's a
That's
drop-off.
probably-
A massive
That's the start, yes.
isn't
The
it?
rest of the list were under 78.
Unbelievable. Wow.
And not even that many in the 70s, like the rest of them under 70. Like this.
Okay, the only way is up, baby.
Okay, so we're going to try to pull out what we can find here. Let's have a look at the big dogs then. Let's start with Jai Simpkin and Luke Davies-Uniacke.
All right.
Are they premium players is my question.
Well, they can play.
They can play.
And they can score elite numbers too.
And LDU in that back half was amazing.
Yeah.
He was really good. Out of those two, I don't know if there's much growth in a Simpkin compared to an LDU.
Right. So the thing is, between those two, they've both shown that they can score very well. Simpkin scored 110 or more in 5 of the last 9 games.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Take that.
Yep. So he was coming good there at the end. Now, Luke Davies-Uniacke, he's got a ceiling though. I don't know if you remember that 145 he scored against Collingwood.
Yep.
So that's probably the key stuff with those guys that we can look at, that they should be 100-plus players. Agree?
They should be.
They should be.
Mid-90s, there's improvement. So draft is essentially one of those things that we'll be looking at those guys for. Could you start with them in Classic?
No.
No way. Wouldn't even
LDU
consider-
maybe. I'm interested,
Like
but no.
as a unique.
Yeah, but no. No, you're not starting with them, let's be
I
honest.
just don't think you can.
You can't.
Like there's even, like as much as we're talking like Clarko's there's hope of significant improvement.
Yeah.
You still don't know exactly how he's going to play everyone. So
Yeah.
if you're paying top dollar for someone,
Yeah.
that's just an added risk we don't need.
Agree.
Yes, a watch and wait and see. So Aaron Hall is the next one, the only other player that averaged over 78, Roy, for North Melbourne last year. So Aaron Hall, let's look at him. He's priced at 90. So he's got the $797,000 figure next to his name. That's actually 19 points less than the year before of what he did when he went at 109, Calvinator.
It's a yeah. Nah, Roy.
I know, he did come home like a steam train again though. And
What happens if...
didn't he average a heap in his last 5, Aaron Hall?
Probably.
And I think that was at the back end of the season, wasn't it? It wasn't early and then injured.
You said before, like, this Clarko for a guy like this is either going to be an absolute disaster and he's going to hate what he does, or he's just going to embrace it.
Yeah.
It could be back to old school Aaron.
So I think 110 in his last 5. Hull.
Okay.
But did he play VFL? Because I'm looking at his VFL stats. Round 22 of VFL, he scored 132 there.
Did he?
Yeah.
But was that coming back from some of those injuries? Because that's the other issue. He had a couple of soft tissues.
All right.
I've actually put him on the in the article on AFL.com.au
No, you didn't.
saying buyer beware.
Oh, he's a buyer beware.
Oh, no, that's his title. That's always been his title.
That could be a late draft pickup because
He's not going to go late because he's still got a 90 next to his name.
Yeah, but he's
People
not a
will
90.
Pick him.
And he only played 11 games.
Oh, he could be anything.
It could be anything. You're right.
That will make or break your draft. He could win your draft.
Yeah, he definitely could.
Your best, I think the draft doctors say, your best ability is your availability.
Oh,
There you go.
I like that.
And that is not good for Aaron.
No, it's not.
All right, so let's start looking down the list, which
Okay.
isn't that far down because under 78, Roy, that's where the rest of the list is. So I'm going to pull out a couple of names here. Probably the cheapest one, and this is probably the player of the North Melbourne list that I think we will be watching most this pre-season, and that is Taryn Thomas.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was high on our
yeah.
radar a couple of years ago.
So he played 10 games last year, only averaged 53.6.
Oh, so far below.
It's a lot
The
below
year
what he's
before, he
capable.
averaged 81.2. So that is almost a 28-point drop.
This is actually 27.5, but yeah.
And that's the year I think he also came home strong.
He did,
because
so-
he moved into the midfield.
It's like a 90 or something in
Yeah.
the last half. Yeah.
That's right. So he averaged 104 in his final 6 games of
There you go.
2021. So didn't get anywhere near
Clarko
those numbers,
will be
last year.
only good for him.
Right.
It has to be.
I think he's already put his arm around him a bit. So he had a bit of a tumultuous season on and off field.
It's a good word, dog.
He has had foot surgery, though, in the pre-season.
Okay.
So that's something that is something to monitor, but he's on the track, though.
I'm trying.
think
That's good.
so.
Because I'm trying to make a rule for myself here. Like,
Yep.
I always have all these rules, but I don't follow any.
Yep.
The injury through pre-season,
Oh, yeah.
injury interrupted pre-season. It's always one where we say, just put a line through them.
Yep.
But we never actually do put a line through them.
So $475,000 for Taryn Thomas. You're
That's
doing
too
it, aren't
cheap.
you?
I'm doing it. I don't care
Look,
about the injury.
I
in the
had
pre-season.
I had pre-season ankle surgery.
Yeah,
and
look at you hobbling around.
No, but I dunked yesterday on an 8-foot rig. Let's go. Let's go. I'm back.
Right, well, now
Merry
I'm picking
Christmas.
him.
Yeah,
I'm picking him. If you're dunking.
Too right.
All right.
8 foot.
You cock it back.
Yeah.
Oh.
The other name that I wanted to
6-year-old.
mention here,
Bang.
basically a little bit cheaper as well, and he also has mid-forward status here, is Darcy Tucker, the
Okay.
former
I'm interested.
Freo Docker. Now, I was interested at the time when he was basically picked up in the draft.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been someone, and it's draft, I think, where he's been in my team. Like, I probably haven't ever picked him in Classic, but he's got some capacity to score.
He does.
Well,
So-
what could he could be a 70.
Well,
Should be.
Well, no, look at his teammates. No, 60. Sorry, Darcy.
He'll hit that 78 mark. That's elite for
He
them.
will.
okay, so some stats out of him. Like, his role was basically all over the shop, and that's why he's got the mid-forward status, because he's had defender status previously as well. So
Well, Champion Dad didn't know, did they? They just threw it out there and just went, I'll cover bases.
now, I guess it was about role while he moved, so I'm going to say here, he's cheap because he was a sub 4 times for Fremantle last year.
Right.
Oh,
Will he get the opportunity to be in their best 22, North Melbourne's?
Yeah.
you would think
Surely.
so. On the
How many times sub? 4.
4.
That'll stuff your average.
Riley
mate.
Beveridge here, dog, has him on a wing.
And that's going to be good for him.
In their best
So he
22.
averaged 100 in the
Yep.
waffle
There we
last
go.
season.
Straight up.
Averaged 100 in the waffle. So when he was playing back
Like
there, a real
waffle.
league.
Waffle equals real equals.
Score legit.
Yep.
And these legit scores, he had a 142 and a 178 in that.
You know what?
Price is he, dog?
So 457.
Hard to say no.
So
Lock
Thomas
and load.
is cheaper than Thomas.
My goodness, you could have them
Hey,
both.
why not both?
I'll tell
Imagine
you why
loading
not
your
both.
team with the
I'll
Roos.
tell you why not both.
Kangaroos in your forward line.
Oh, that.
Okay.
And also the fact that just when I've had a bit of a squeeze,
Yeah.
it seems like the forward line, like we could really be loaded in there. Like, I don't know if that's a place where we'll really find spot for rookies.
Yeah.
Because there is so many options, I think, in the underpriced or uber premium.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking awesome dudes, but I'm talking You're three probably uber primos, but then there seems to be a lot of guys in that price dog
that could have that 20-point upside.
Look like they've got 20-point upside.
Stepping stone,
AKA meat on the bone.
Too right, Roy.
All right, can I give you another forward that you can pick?
Now we're scraping the barrel. Here we go.
Ben Cunnington.
Oh, no, that's not scraping barrels.
Well, he's 24 points down on what he did the previous season in 2021 with his discount. So he only averaged 52.5 from his 2 games. So very limited data there. But he has the mid-forward status.
Yep. Forward status, Cunnington.
Yep.
His discount
I love that stuff.
obviously comes off that 99 that he averaged the year before.
Okay. Yep.
So he's priced at 75, which I honestly don't... I think that's too much for me to start with him.
Oh, if it was anywhere under 70, I'd be licking my lips. But I'm still interested, to be honest.
Draft is where you're most interested because he's going to have that 52.5 next to his name. Look, that's undraftable. What does he do? I think he goes 80 plus.
Yep.
And that's been probably conservative considering he was 99 the year before.
If he's just going back to his old role in the guards...
Yep. Can he do anything else?
No, not really, I don't think. But he must have sat forward in those 2 games, did he?
Yep. Enough to get him
so
mid-forward status.
If he's just back to his bull midfield role, he'll go 90 again.
Yep, so in draft leagues out there, he's sitting way down the list. So people listening to this are at a huge advantage because their dumb mates aren't listening to this and therefore they will forget about a guy like that.
I tell you what, he's in. I might have 3 roos in my forward line.
You will not.
Right, we better talk about a couple of other players that we've got on the list. I want to mention Will Phillips, who was a ball magnet. And we talked about him a lot in his draft year. He's rookie price. He's at $270,000. Remembering basement's now $200.
Really?
Pick 1 is $300. So at $270, he's got a couple of years under his belt in the system, so you'd probably pick him ahead of some of those higher price rookies.
He's been in the system now, and the fact, like you said, highly touted.
Yeah.
Underperformed to this point.
I'll say again.
Ready to go bang.
Bevo's got him here in their best 22.
Clarko will too.
That's
the future.
Yep.
Okay. So, there's numbers there that are good. Like, he had a 94 average in the VFL.
And what is he, straight mid?
Straight mid.
Yeah.
So one to consider that could be an M7-ish or so.
I would have loved to sneak him in my 4th forward.
Yeah, that would have been handy.
Bouncing with Roos up in the forward line. All right, the only other names that I wanted to mention, Calvinator, Todd Goldstein.
Yeah, why not?
Draft.
Goat.
Be silly not to lock him in.
Hey, he's got a 72 next to his name, considering he's been the greatest ruckman of the last decade.
He's 14 points under what he did a couple of years ago. That's cheap.
He's not getting any younger.
No, he's not. But he's like a fine wine, Roy.
He is.
Yes.
No, he'll still be fine, though.
Well, no, what is the ruck lineup going to look like? Ex-Airy is going to get more time, isn't he?
I reckon.
Yeah.
And what's Coleman Jones going to do? Does he run through the rucks?
You would think he'd get a
sit forward.
Little tap in there time, Roy.
Yes, that will be interesting.
It's a nah. It's a nah on Goldie, unfortunately. Time's up, mate.
You wouldn't be devastated if he was like if there's a ruck run in draft and you leave it to the end and then you get Goldie.
That's fine.
You'd be happy with the name.
You're getting a guy that could average 105, is he? Great pick.
All right. Is that enough for North Melbourne?
Plenty for North. We've done very well. You know what? You've done so well, you can have him again next year.
No. He did get him on a good year.
He did, yeah.
You need to do a bad job of stuff so you don't get it again.
You got a Clarko year. You got away with that.
Nailed it.
Well done, mate.
Beautiful. All right, you can find all our content at afl.com.au/fantasy this pre-season. We've got heaps to come, including all of these club previews, which you can be listening to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you subscribe, follow, whatever the things are, and you'll be able to get them dropped into your ears nice and quickly.
They get better every time too.
Too right, they do.
Let's hope they do.
Start at the bottom.